and work on that one. Thank you, Monica. Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Indeed, walachu. My name is Mustefa again from MD Anderson Cancer Center. I've been in a clinical setting for more than 19 years. So it's been a rewarding journey. So today we got two parts. The first one is going to be we'll be reviewing for mid-course. Power to you all for showing up so far. And once we do this, the next is going to be we're going to do what's going to come next. Okay, the next half. I'm going to talk about that. So before any delay, I'm going to start the first question. All right, first one. Which of the following interaction contributes most to killing tumor cell? Choose the best options. A, sorry, I need to move that. Okay, A, brain-spalling radiation, hydrolysis, pair production, radiolysis of water forming hydroxyl radicals, and direct ionization. There's a poll. We're going to give it about 20 seconds. Hey, Monica, do you have the poll already?
Yes. Would you like to end it now? Yeah,
let's end it. All right, we got 27, even like 1/4. The answer is D, which is good. 27% answered that. Radiolysis of water forming hydroxyl radicals. Now, before I continue, before I go to the next question, so whether you get it right or wrong today, or whether it does, what I want you to do is, you go back and look at those lecture videos and then try to do it again and see, how much you could get that after that. That's what I usually used to do when I was in school. After the review, I'll go back again, hit all my notes, my lecture, my book, then I go back to it. Not only the one I got wrong, but the one I got right, whether I got them like the right way. All right, close this. Next question. In which phase of the cell cycle are cells are most sensitive to radiation? AS, B, G2, C, M, D, G1, and E, G0, GO. Let's take 30 seconds to answer this. If not enough, I could give you guys more time. So there may be more than one answer on this. So select all that apply. So if we do a 50% M phase, this M is one of them. And the other one is G2. These are the time when the DNA is more sensitive. And when they are more sensitive, they're prone to die from radiation. So the two answers, B and C. Thank you all. Number 3. Which effects describes why normal tissue are more resistant to multiple treatments than cancer cells? A, repair, B, distribution, C, reoxygenation, D, repopulation. Repair, that's right, because normal cell repairs quicker than the tumor cell, and that's why when we give radiation, we have to have a minimum of 6 hours, because within that 6 hours, normal tissue tends to recover. And when we do, especially anywhere, any cancer institution, when they do BID, like twice a day treatment, they usually have them within 6 hour differences. Thank you all. Although fractionation treatment over several days prolonged the treatment course, it improves the efficacy against tumor cells. This effect is referred to as, that's right. The answer is B. I see that most of you answer population. The 4 R's of radiobiology are sometimes they confuse, but what you gotta do is go in there, because that's the second lecture of this program that we spoke, we presented this one. Go back there and check it, because they similar, when you look at it. But over the time, though, the reason is because over the time, cancer cells, go through different cycles. And we said that, M and G2 are the most sensitive. So That's why we do them different days. We can have dropped like the whole dosage in one day, but we fractionate it because we're trying to get the chance of getting them. Those sensitive is higher, when you have fractionation. So it is B distribution. We're still on the 4 R's. Why is it dangerous to interrupt or delay the completion of treatments? And what the R because of this danger? Great, population. That's it, that's the answer. And 84% are to you all. So while receiving treatment, cancer cells are constantly going back. If the treatment stops, delay occurs, they're going to start recovering. That's why we want to make sure that we want to advise our patients not to stop the treatment. And that's why when patient care comes in. We make sure that we take care of them so well so they want to come. There's a pain going on, for them to have this radiation going through, or the chemo, or the fatigue. But the last thing they want is, they come to us and we don't take care of them the way I'm talking about, like being nice to them, having empathy. If you don't have to them, what's going to happen? I've seen it because I'm just saying from experience. You want to make sure because they're going through a lot of stuff. Patients going through physical, mental, financial, psychological issues. So you want to make sure that they come back. Since you're going to see them from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, they're just family now. So yeah, the answer is population. We have to encourage our patients not to interrupt or not to stop their treatment. All right, in LINAC, blank are attracted toward a blank are to produce a photon beam. Intraocular linear accelerator. That's great. Yeah, electron tungsten. Answer is right. So I see about 10%. So on this one, sometimes, let's look at our choice too. Photons are created, so we don't be able to accelerate. That even if we go back to X-ray, to create X-ray, the old X-ray, but I'm talking about X-ray machine. Electrons are the ones accelerated from cathode to anode. So thinking that way, we know be able to for sure electrons not going to hit the cobalt. Cobalt is a life source. Let's look at our choice too, so we could have like a good chance of getting the right answer. But the answer is right. 90% answered it. It is B. Number 7, a higher energy beam would be selected to treat a tumor that is shallow. Yeah, the answer is false. You got 86% answer false. That's great. And maybe sometimes, shallow could be, the word is soft. Shallow means superficial. So like close to the surface of the skin. Maybe the wording probably the problem sometimes. So yeah, it's 86%. The answer is false. Thank you all. All right, based on the figure, approximately how much dose that the skin receives if the midline is treated with 70 gray with cobalt 1.25 mg. Give more time on this one. Okay. The answer is D. So we got 48%, almost half. So when you look at it, let me close this. The midline is getting 70%, but it's asking for the skin dose. So when you cobalt right here, look at the skin dose right here. It's 120. See, you have 100% right here. It's 120. 120 is like 20% more. So to figure out, to just multiply it 1.2. So if you take 70 and multiply it by 1.2, you're going to end up with 84 gray. And you can look at this. Then when you come to the 4 MV, again, you take 4 MV and multiply for that 70, it's going to be lower. And the 10 is going to be more lower when it comes to the spin dose. Whenever, when you increase the energy, the spin dose goes down. All right, what's better for treating patients? Photon with the energy, 6 MV, 10 MV, or 15 megavoltage? I don't know the answer to, sorry about that. Or it depends, 6 MV, 10 MV, 15 MV, or it depends on the clinical case, the anatomic zone of treatment, and the goals of the treatment. Let me finish it, sorry. That's great. 78% got the right answer. The answer is D. Because it doesn't matter what the energy is, the planner could plan it based on that energy. And for sure, if you have like a deep-seated tumor, you're gonna go with a higher energy. But it depends what kind of case serves. For example, if you're treating brain, you're not gonna go to 15 MV, you're gonna end up doing with 6 MV. So it depends, what you're treating. What factors influence the construction of PTV from a CTV? These are the choices. 1, uncertainty in the patient setup. 2, organ movement. 3, proximity of critical structure. 4, extension of microscopic diseases. So you got A1, 2, 3, B1, 3, C2, 4, D4 only, or E1, 2, 3, 4. We'll give you more time on this one. Let's take a minute on this. Or let us know, if the time we're giving you is not enough. You could just, send us a message. If you want me to increase the time to answer the question, let us know. We don't want to rush you. Most of you answer the question, 39%, and 48% answer 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're on the right track. So the majority answer closer to the right question. So yes, 1, 2, 3. Because this uncertainty, you set up the patient, you don't know. So sometimes they add margin, even any kind of setup to make sure they recover for that, and patient will be moving or breathing, all that time. You have to account for that, and the proximity of critical structure, very, very important. All right, here you go. According to this DVH, how much of the PTV receives 2,500 centigram dose? Perfect. 77% answer the right answer. 95%. You have to look at it and PTV right here. 2,500. When you look at it, you're right. 95 right. You're close. That's the close answer you have, and that's great. Into this simulation and treatments. A, it is best draw treatment fields with tight tumor margin to spare more normal tissue. B, the treatment fields are placed at single tumor location related to bony anatomy. C, a CT scan must be used to plan the treatment. Now, great again, 66% of you answered the right answer, which is a B. So especially this is moving from 2D, 3D to IMRT. So best, for example, let's look at this wrong answer. A is best draw treatment field with a tight margin. That's for IMRT, because now we have MS is moving around, it's intensity modulated radiation therapy. So we could, and we have all IGRT going on, so we could make our margin very, very tight there for the IMRT. A CT scan must be used to plan the treatment. It doesn't hurt, but not though. Say it must. You could just use orthogonal X-ray and create your 2D planning. So the answer is B. Beginning with deciding the treatment being angle and then calculating the plan to achieve the optimal dose to the tumor while minimizing those two normal tissue is described. A, forward treatment planning. D, inverse treatment planning. That's right, okay. We got like almost split half and half. We got 56% said A and 44 B. The answer is A. Since there's a big division I want to talk about. So, if you give first, you bring the angle, all that's a forward planning. But the inverse planning is the plan will give the dose to the target or to OR, organ at risk, and the planning software optimizes. Optimization means calculation and data. So that's the difference. So the answer is A. This one is forward planning. The inverse is, when you give let the software optimize the dose for you for the target and for given person, basically. For head and neck treatment, where many critical structures closer together, IMRT technique is preferred over 3D because a greater demand is not required. A, greater demand is not required. B, greater precision is required due to the patient movement. C, a higher dose can be delivered while spared more normal tissue. And D, treatment beams are more accurate. All right. Also, you answered the right question. 80% said that is a C, a higher dose can be delivered while sparing more. Number 15. IMRT treatments are easier than 3D treatments for RTT because A, it's not necessary to go to the vault and change blood between films. B, the planners automatically, so the RTT can just relax during treatment. C, no checking is needed since the plan has been double checked by the physicist. D, imaging is only required during the first treatment. Again, great. 68% answered the question. And 27% answered B. It's good. Nobody answered D, which is great, because on IMRT, you be taking film. Sometimes you be taking film actually daily, depends. Periodically be taking film. So first, the answer is A. But I want to talk about since right here, since we have 27% answer B. I'm sorry, let me just close this for a second. Yeah, B, the plan is automatic, so the RTT can't just relax during treatment. That's a no. Doesn't matter how we progress in this field. Once you have patient on table, you like on the battlefield. You got to watch out what's going to patient may move. The patient moves, they probably move their arm while the gantry is moving. So that's a no. It doesn't matter how we progress in technology. I just want to address that because it happens, collision happens, patient gets hurt and stuff like that because RTT get relaxed. And actually, when I start the next part of this, today's program, and I'll be talking about that before I get to those three things, the three missions that IMRT, how RTT, get about IMRT. But right now the answer is A, and we are done with this. What I'm gonna do is let me stop share this. Here we go. So you guys made it halfway. Pause to use. You see, it's all the participants did hard work, to put this program together. And it's like, you guys watched the first season. Now the second season is going to be much better. So let's start. See missions of the RTT team in transition to IMRT. All right, here are three missions. One, operate the new equipment. They say 111, okay, but it's a 1.3, all right? Sorry about that. Operate the new equipment software. Two, align the patient with great precision and accuracy. And three, have a workflow that has quality controls at all levels. All right, before I get to those three missions, I want to talk about this. This is from New York Times. It was published January 23rd, 2010. It says radiation offers new cures and ways to do harm. So there are two cases here. The first one, the patient getting radiation to the base of tongue cancer of the head and neck treatment. His head and his whole neck was swollen on the second fraction. Second fraction. So what they found out was the MLC was wide open for the two fractions. It was swollen for the second fraction, no? But what's sad about it is he still got the third fraction. So I'm telling you one thing here. As radiation therapists, we are the last line of defense. The doctor ordered plan, plan is done by the dosimetry physics, checks everything. When it comes to us, we are the one beaming on. So we the last line of defense. So we have to protect them. Maybe, mistake you down from top, but we don't want to turn the key and beaming on. So it's very, very important that, when we have patient on table, patient have medical record number, like, 6 digits, 5 digits, without 7 digits. But you know what? It's beyond this, bigger than that number. The human being is laying down on a table. So we have to make sure that, I'll tell you what, when I fly, whether I fly home, to Ethiopia, or, when I fly anywhere in the States, I go inside the airplane, sit down, make my dua, make my prayer, and just take a nap. Why? Because the airlines wouldn't hire unless people are capable. These pilots are certified to fly the airplane. I just, I know some people, they cannot sleep in the airplane, they're nervous and stuff, but I'm just going there and, especially the day I fly, usually I have to shop and stuff like that, I'm tired, but what I'm trying to tell you is when these people comes in that room and lay down there, they are believing in you, they're trusting you. So that trust, you have to take it seriously. You cannot have, telephone number with people, I'm using your phone when someone is laying down. You can't have conversation, always one person, at least one person should be looking out throughout the treatment. So think about it. MLC was wide open. He received a fraction. Everything was swollen. So we are their nurse, and when they come in, we the one you have to talk to the patient. You have how you feeling today? Yeah, what's going on? You okay? Yeah, especially if you have a brain patient, ask them are you having a headache? How did you get here? Did you get a ride? We need to interact with them, interact with the patient family, talk to the patient family. So what's going on? Is there anything? Because sometimes patients are they dehydrated, they're weak, fatigue is kicking. They don't be able to talk to you. Or maybe if they're head and neck cancer, forget it. They don't be able to talk to you because they have ulcer, all kind of pain. So start a conversation, talk to the family. If there's any kind of change, if you see, especially if it says that the whole neck was swollen on the second fraction. Think about it. Usually we talk to our patient, okay, you may see some kind of fatigue in 2 weeks. You may see this kind of skin 3 weeks, we talk to them like that. But you see it on the second day. And he was given a third fraction. So they found out the whole time the MLC was open. The lecture was given before about MLC, that the multi-leaf polymeter, 120 of them, the leg, move around, shaping the beam, protecting the OR. The whole thing was open like this. It got everything. His entire neck, from base of skull to his larynx, all exposed. And he died because of that at age of 43, radiation overdose. Think about it. Then when I treat my head and neck patients, sometimes what I do is, I picture what they feel. That's a good thing about anatomy and physiology, learning that. When you follow, the first, I was intrigued with the flow of blood, going from heart all the way, to this organ. So when you picture things like that, for example, this guy, when you treat his head and neck, think about, his parotid gland, salivary gland, because if saliva stops flowing, that's what's going to happen. The tooth decays, infection becomes significant risk for the patient. No, think us, what kind of damage you cause. I know radiation cures, but you know what? There's side effects that something will cause to a patient. Think about that when you treat the patient. If you think that way, I'm telling you that you're going to do them a service. No, but I brought this because I just want to give you a prop, a backup to what we're going to do with the 3 missions, moving forward. You have a patient on table, you're behind, you're behind, but you can't do nothing about that. You can't do radiation. Send somebody, talk to the patient waiting there, tell them that what's going on. We're behind. Make sure that you give the same kind of care you give them when you're on time, during or behind. That's not their fault. Make sure when they're, that's not their fault. Somebody didn't show up, that's not their fault. So we have to make sure that we give them that care. And let's go to the second case. Patient getting a radiation for a breast cancer, post-surgery and chemo. Big hole in her chest. When she was complaining to a therapist that she's having itching and stuff, I told her what, don't worry, it's gonna, you put some cream on it, you'll be okay, How about sending to her? I don't know, the whole story wasn't out. I don't know how the doctor involved, I don't know, but what I'm telling you is what happened was the wedge was out instead of wedge in. Think about it, wedge out instead of wedge in. So what I'm saying is basically they gave her, the prescription said 28 fractions. She got 27 fraction on that. So, she died too at early age. The reason I brought this is we're moving to a machine that could heal people at the same time. If you don't take care of it right, it kills people. It takes responsibility. Build communication with your patient. All right, here we go. The mission, the first one, operate the new equipment and software. See, from Cobalt now we move into all this machine. We got, some may have the variant, some may have the Electa. You have all these gadgets, your OBI. Use the Mosaic, software for treatment, and look like right here, it looks like a space center because you have to handle a lot of types of multitasking going on. So this is a lot of responsibility. It's computerized. Like I said, it takes patience, it takes dedication, and pride in your job. Because I'll tell you one thing about cancer care or any medical care. If you're in it just for the money, you're in the wrong field. I'm telling you, it's going to burn you. Your first intention has to be you want to take care of people, and that will push you to learn more about your your device, the machine, and the whole field itself. So you have a new CT machine. Know the CT machine, how to run the CT machine. For example, when you scan the CT machine, you have a patient laying down. It's a PD patient, pediatric patient, a small patient. Start practicing alarm. Especially those who've been to radiography, the whole thing you learn about those reduction, keep a plan, especially when you do KV. See, once misconception about this radiation, when you get to MV, somebody is going to tell you, oh, it doesn't add to the dose, it's just a KV. I say to people every time, every photon counts. So make sure that have that kind of mindset. If you have that kind of mindset, if you worry about the small dose, giving them, if you bring down, especially, the dose comes, and especially for X-ray comes for the mass. If you get it, we're not diagnosing people on the table. We're just trying to align to our target. If you be able to see to the lower mass, go ahead and drop it, because the default setting on this machine is too much. One of the machine may tell you default setting is 65 kV and 4 mass for the lateral brain. But you could do that with the kV. Probably you could end up like 60 or 55, but you can, the mass could come down to 2 mass. You could just drop it in half, and the mass is where the dose comes from. So you could do that. So when you do simulation, You know, if you do a mini SEM to locate, you know, tumor lot, drop the mass by half. You don't need it. You will be able to see the tumor. You know, and the doctor has to be there anyway. And he knows that already the doctor, or he knows or she knows that that mass is already seen on a different CT scan or PET scan or MRI. You know, the doctor is going to come and, you know, identify the tumor for you, but you can still see it. So make sure that, you know, this is what you need to know about your new software, how to play with it. And for sure, you know, your hardware, make sure that, you know, how to, the key is, like I said, you know, know your equipment, very, very important. And how much lateral the table has to come before you get collusion. Know this one. But you know what? Even with that, never leave the room without checking your gantry. Gantry rotation has to be 360. Make sure you do that. Here we go. See, we're moving from this one control panel all the way to this. So, you know, some of us, some machine could go from here to there, and some going to be. But what I'm saying is, no matter what it is, learn your hardware and your software. Audio, it could be like something you can understand, but, you know, different. Like, you know, you have the Android and you have Apple here. You know, it's just like they just getting used to it. You may need to get used to on this. But still, dedicate to know what you're doing. Dedicate to know. One thing about it, don't have pride to ask. This is not the profession for the pride. If you don't know, just ask. Don't just press the stuff if you don't know. Because people's lives depend on it. People are laying on that table, trusting you. Trusting you. So basically, you know how to operate the new equipment, new machine, new software. You portal imaging, and you know, OBI, you KV imaging, and if you start, you know, doing, you know, spectral gating, you know all that stuff. You know, have time to learn. You know, that's why, you know, especially when we did that review today, I want you to go back and look at those 1 to 7 PowerPoints, you know, that we did before today's lesson. Go back and read and try to do that again. And make sure that you understood actually what you answered. All right, here's our second mission. Align the patients with greater accuracy. Image matching. You know, there will be more on that because there's a session for it. But you know, how do you match your image, and, you know, plus, you know, solve positioning problems. For example, if patient is crooked and a patient is but for this other problem, the first thing I tell you, everything starts at the simulation. Get them right at the simulation. If you get them right at the simulation, perfect setup in the simulation is going to be perfect for the patient. So again, like I said, you cannot rush this. If you have a perfect setup, perfect cradle, perfect mask at the simulation, it's going to play out pretty good. You have a patient, you do the scout, you scan. You made a cradle, for example. You scan, you look at a patient is crooked. You go there, you move the patient. Then you scan. But see, when you move the patient, you probably create some kind of gap in that cradle. If you move your patient, go back and reform your cradle. Because the next day patient comes is going to lie down like that, because, you know, it's going to lie down the way how it's formed. So take your time, and you have a perfect setup for the patient. Because they're going under radiation. Some of them to begin with, they're scared to be under radiation. They come, they lay down there. The least we could do is, you know, make sure that they get the best setup. Here's the positioning and imaging here. You have you can see here, you know, the orange is the DRR and your daily setup right here, and you have the PTV right there. It shows you that, you know, how, you know, off the patient is. That's like probably close. Look at that in there right here. So, you know, I mean, you have good things. We have IGRT to image and stuff like that. But you know what? I tell you that those of us who start doing this before, like, you know, IGRT become prevalent, we depended on positioning. We did that. So make sure that you position your patient get them straight. This is the way they were sent. All right, here's mission number 3. Have a workflow that have quality control all the levels. All right, here we go. I brought this. This is one of the quality assurance policy at Toyota. Stop the line. The line is what happens on that Toyota assembly line. There is a cord. They call it Andon cord. So if an employee notices any kind of defect or problem, they put the line. Why? They don't want that defect to go through the assembly line. Think about it. Toyota got the best car. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in Asia, in Africa, in Australia, in America, Toyota got the best car. They already built the name, you know. You got, I mean, think about it. You got Lexus, you got Toyota, you know, you could never go wrong. You could drive these cars like, you know, I mean, the last year, probably people died for them, you know, whoever the owner is. What I'm trying to say is here, why is that? Because of the QA. We apply this at MD Anderson, stop the line. Here it is, empowers everyone for the safety of the patient. That's the key. You see, when you say stop the line, it doesn't matter who's the top. It's a supervisor or the senior therapist, the junior, even a student there, if you see something, stop the line, you know? It's better to stop for 5 minutes than giving them the wrong dose or giving them, you know, treating the wrong area. So practice that, empower everybody to stop the line. You know, sometimes some communities are like, you know, somebody's on the senior therapist, you know, I'm supervisor, you cannot talk to me, stuff like that. It doesn't work with us at MD Anderson right now. Everybody can stop the line. So stop the line. You know, start practicing right now, you know, when you know, at the early stage of now transition to IMRT. Empower everyone. Everybody should be empowered. What is going to happen is, you know, when you empower everyone, guess what? They feel responsible. When they feel responsible, they work hard. It has even benefit, positive benefit comes out of it. So stop the line. That's, you know, I love this when we start practicing that, like anybody can come stop the treatment with that. But you know, it may take what, a couple of minutes? I'm okay with that. If my junior therapist comes stop me, I said, you know what? I'll stop it right away. Even if it was wrong or she was wrong, I'm okay with that. We check that and we go back to it. Like I said, radiation, once you give it, you can never take it back. It's going to be those for their life. You can't take it back. So make sure that, you know, we are playing with fire here. Make sure that you give the right dose to the right patient, the right location. So empower everyone. Stop the line. You know, here you go, egg. QA every time. Make sure that, for example, you take an X-ray, you set up your patient, they look at it, patient set up perfect, talk to each other out loud. The patient have a stunt. Ask the patient, please give me a name. They don't understand. Put it in the mouth. You know, give it the patient with the mouth. You know, I don't advise it for you to put it in the mouth because if they have some kind of lesion, they know. So give it to them. So you know they could maneuver to put it in their mouth. And check the mouth. If there's borders, check that one. Everything. Speak one another. You know, do it out loud inside the room. Go outside again. You know, same thing. Check everything. Make sure everything is checked. Everything's clear. Then, any concern? Ask each other. Do you have any concern? Do you have any concern? No. All right. I'm moving on. Move on. Always keep quality control the whole process, the whole time. Very, very, very important. So, I mean, I'm just touching on top of it because it's going to be like a part 2 of this program is going to be what I spoke about. You know, it's going to be image matching, positioning. You know, we're going to talk about the QA, all that stuff. So, but I just want, you know, since I'm on this topic, I just want to tell you what I feel. You know, one thing about me is, you know, I'm known for with safety, like in the department, you know, and I want to make sure that, you know, I teach that to other people. It takes patience, it takes dedication, and take time to train yourself. But love your patient to a point that people are laying down. The person laying down on that table has a mother, has a sister, has a brother, has a children, a wife, a husband. It's just human like us. So let's think that first before we think about this, how names in them or numbers in them. Let's think about this human beings laying down on that table. Stop the line. All right, we hope you enjoy the rest of the course. If you have a question, how much time we have? You can ask a question, but like I said on the earlier, I'll be here every weekend, and I'll be here on one of the panels here. I'll be here in the weekend, but what I want you to do is, like I said, to understand about what we talked about the midterm. I want you to go look at the slide, see if you can understand that, and do it again. Just go back and do it again. I mean, we're going to post these questions. Before, you know, I don't want you to look at the question and look at the slides. No, what I want you to do is look at the start, you know, reviewing those slides. Then, if you have to print them or online, you know, just see how much you understand, how much you know. That's what I want you to do. So today, let's not discuss about that. I want you to do that and come back. If you have any question after that, you know, we can deal with it. That's how I study and it helped me big time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
If you have another question that was said about my presentation, the one about the three initiatives, I don't have problem to answer that. If you have any question on the second part of the presentation.
I think there was a question about what's the best way to report radiation accidents as an radiation therapist.
Okay, see, for us, you know, we have a department itself. In our department, it's a big department, which you understand. We have our own safety office that we reported, and based on, you know, and but it goes to first it goes to supervisor. Yeah, you know, here's I think you have to have a system to deal with. You know, anything happen. That's a good question actually. You have to have some kind of database, or it could be you can set up some kind of database. It could be on Word, or you can even do it on Excel. How do I know any kind of variance? You know, based on the level, start putting them together and create a committee that handles that. You know, that one. I think that's the best way to do it, and have people to answer, you know, like people to report to, and have everybody involved in that one. From that group, have the therapist, have the physicist, have the docent, and have the, you know, the physician to get involved at least, you know, in the group that they want, part of the group. Then you can discuss how to. The kids, you know, when you report it, it's not like, you know, to punish people. It's to learn from that so it won't happen again. I don't want to. So that's why you teach people, you know. Make sure that way it's getting reported, but if you sit ahead and punishing people, guess what? It's not going to be important behind it. But the important things we can learn from that. So my advice is, you know, create a community, a group, and you know, work on that one.